Let's talk about using virtual environments in Python. We have a Python program here called exponential.py that uses a module called rich. Now, currently our exponential.py program doesn't work because we don't have a module called rich. The rich module that we're trying to use comes bundled in a third-party package called rich, which, according to pip, we don't currently have installed. Now, before we go about pip installing the rich module, we're going to create a virtual environment for this project. Virtual environments are a way to isolate the dependencies that each Python project in our machine uses. So we're going to create a new virtual environment, then activate that virtual environment to use it, and then install rich into it, and then finally we'll see how to deactivate that environment when we're temporarily done working with it. So to create a new virtual environment, we'll use Python's venv module, and we need to give it the directory name that it's going to use to store the virtual environment data. venv is a common directory name to use, as is env, and also .venv, which is a hidden directory. We're also going to customize the prompt that we'll see when our virtual environment is activated, which will make sense in just a moment. So right now, Python is creating a directory called .venv that represents our virtual environment. So if we list our current directory, we'll see that .venv subdirectory within it. Now, we've created a virtual environment, but we're not yet using it. To use it, we need to activate it. And the activation command differs depending on your operating system and the shell you're using within that operating system. On Windows, it often looks like this, but on Linux and Mac, it often looks like this. So we're going to run an activate command to activate our virtual environment. Now, I can tell that I'm in an activated virtual environment because my prompt has changed. We can see that there's parentheses at the beginning of our prompt with the name of our virtual environment within it. Now, we customize this name to be the name of our project, that is exponential, but by default, it would be the name of our virtual environment directory. That would be .venv in our case. So if we use pip to list the current packages that are installed, we'll see that we don't see all those packages that we had installed globally because we're in our virtual environment. So if we use pip to install rich at this point, we're installing it specifically into our activated virtual environment. We're not installing it globally on our machine. So we just installed rich and some of its dependencies here. If we run our exponential.py program at this point, we'll see that it actually works now. It works because it has rich available to use to print out this table that represents exponential growth. But if we open up a new terminal window and we run our program again in that new terminal window, we'll see that it doesn't work. It doesn't work because virtual environments are activated per window that you have open. They're not activated for your whole machine. So in order to use this virtual environment in a new window in the future, we would need to run the same activation command we ran before, and then our code will work. To deactivate a virtual environment, you could just exit the window that you have open, and as long as you open up a fresh terminal window, you'll be in a window that doesn't have a virtual environment open. Or if you'd like to keep using the same window, you can run deactivate to deactivate that virtual environment. Virtual environments are a way to isolate the dependencies that you use for each Python project that you work on. It's considered a best practice to use a separate virtual environment for each Python project on your machine.